Jordan. No more feet pics, please. Hey guys, and welcome to our 2-year birthday. Confetti or something on the camera, on the screen, floating from everywhere. I don't know. Today we're going to be talking rebirths in gaming, like our birthday. Let's go. Intro music. Gah. Today is episode 104, the 2-year mark of Grief Burrito. I'm Harrison.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Lulu.
And I'm Nick.
And first of all, I want to thank everyone who has stuck with us for these 2 years. We've had a lot of changes. We've had new formats. We've had new hosts, amazing guests, and welcome to all the new listeners. Jordan, sum up the last 2 years for me.
Hi, I've not had much preparation time. I thought it was off today and woke up from a 3-hour nap like 2 hours ago. But, you know, that was pretty cool. What did you ask me to do?
It was barely 2 hours ago. It was like 20 minutes. I mean, I know we've had a bit of a preamble before, but it was like 20 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Yeah. What did you ask me to do? I completely spaced. I'm cutting this bit.
I'd just sum up the last 2 years of Grief Burrito. How would you sum it up in, not even a word, just a sound? Give me like a, I don't know, like a or a or something, I don't know.
Where? Which I think is famous from you.
Yeah. And Nick and Lulu, can you guys like harmonize a weird sound for me? Just make 2 noises of how you can sum up how you've been feeling since you've joined Grief Burrito.
Yes.
That was great. That was actually really nice. I actually really quite enjoyed that. Thank you.
Nick, you sounded like a rewinding VHS.
He did, yeah. He really did.
What's your skill? I can rewind myself.
Be kind. Rewind.
Rewind.
I just want to start this episode with a shout out to Nate Scott, who is a brand new listener, and he is loving the new stickers that we've all sent him out. This episode is for you. What a great episode to start this on, the 2-year birthday. So, as I said before, we're going to be talking about rebirths in gaming, and I purposely didn't really give this episode much of a breakdown to our lovely 3 hosts, as I wanted it to be a bit more freeform, and you can take it from pretty much wherever you like. So I just wanted to see what topics you guys would come up with. So Jordan, seeing as you had the least prep, about 6 minutes of it, do you want to go first? What is a rebirth in gaming that you have experienced?
Ooh, that is a good one. I'd say I'm going to take this the opposite way. So instead of it being a good thing, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, dumpster fire. It's going to be Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem himself.
Dick Kickham himself. He's had to chew ass and kick gum, and he's all out of gum. So Duke Nukem went from being the kind of staple 90s first-person shooter along with Doom, and then everything kind of went downhill. It was like he was put into some kind of mutation vat and then was ejected out of it early, so he was like an amorphous blob, and then got drop-kicked into a vat of acid. That was pretty much Duke Nukem Forever. And I don't think he's ever recovered from it, really. And I don't know if he ever will, which is really sad, because as misogynistic, and a piece of shit as he is, it's a cool series, some cool premises. And I'd like to see it actually done well. We spoke about it a little last week with Gary.
We did, yeah.
Dinsdale.
Dimsdale, dim dam, dimmadome.
Didn't
get that joke.
My name's Doug Dimmadome on the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
You Doug Dimmadome? I want the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
That's right. So I feel like if it was in the right hands, that could be a really good franchise again and really interesting. So are you guys a fan of Duke Nukem? Land of the Babes? 64? Love it.
Love it. I was replaying Duke Nukem 3D.
Yes.
And you're right. I was really excited for Duke Nukem Forever.
Same.
But I don't know. See, for me, it was still mindless rubbish, but it was mindless rubbish. So it was
rubbish. Sexy rubbish.
Sexy.
Is it sexy?
I think it amazed me because the fact that I could pee and I could also draw with a marker pen. So my mind was blown straight away.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty cool.
So,
Like Lulu, from a lady's standpoint, how do you think you could redo Duke Nukem nowadays? Because me and Jordan mentioned something, and I know that you said you hadn't listened to last episode yet. How do you think you could do it now? I want to see if you say the same thing.
This is going to sound really bad. I've never heard of this before.
You've never heard of
Sorry,
Duke
I'm
You've never heard of
like-
Duke Nukem?
No, I
Not
haven't.
never.
No, I'm sorry.
I am astounded.
Oh my
you
God.
don't
Is that
know-
blowing your mind?
Yeah, it has. Holy shit! So
You and me are the
Jordan,
same age, though.
Duke Nukem, it's like
We're the same age. I would
Yeah, you're the same age.
No, but that is fine if
Yeah.
you don't. That's okay. But I'm
no, it's not.
It's not allowed.
rebirth of anger is
Yep.
what this fucking is. No,
It is.
yeah,
I
no,
know.
it's fine. Duke Nukem's he wears a red tank top and he has a flat top haircut like Guile, but less weird. And
Not as high.
he's very misogynistic, and
Mhm.
at the time it was kind of okay. I don't want to say okay, but it was like he was saving people's lives, and the women would immediately like fall for him.
Yeah, he was like, take every action stereotype of a hero in a film and turn it up to 11. It was like playing on everything like that. So it's like very tongue-in-cheek as well. It's like it's purposely over the top,
Yeah,
but it wouldn't fly nowadays
it
at
would
all.
not.
Like
No.
it wouldn't work.
it was
I've
definitely
ju-
like
No,
the
so-
satire of the action here at the time, and it,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
it
it's
played on
satire,
that
yeah.
massively, didn't it? It was, this is what your action hero is, and exactly what you said, Hazz. Let's turn it up to 11,
Mhm.
and they played with that. And
It's
that's
absolutely
where
everything
That's
like
where
that.
it went. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but so me and Jordan were saying last week that the only way you could really do it is if you were to place him in modern day, and it was showing that everything that he did to try and be macho just didn't work, because that isn't macho anymore. It'd be him being out of place, and that would. Do you understand what I mean? That would be the only way it'd work,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it does kind of feel like the end of an era where you can make
Mhm.
these like horrendously crass jokes, and it was okay because it came from that character, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a shame that
Yeah,
it's
I
gone,
understand
but
what
I
you mean,
think overall it's probably a good thing that Duke Nukem isn't saying and doing
Yeah.
the things he was.
I've just
like
I've just googled him, and he looks like, you know, that toy you had as a kid where it was like the big, almost like He-Man guy. You'd stretch the arms
Stretch
and the legs
Armstrong.
and stuff.
Stretch
He,
Armstrong.
he looks exactly like
Yeah.
Stretch Armstrong.
wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys have the bad guy for Stretch Armstrong?
There was a bad guy.
No.
There was a bad guy. There was
Was
a whole
was
like
Stretch the
I
good
think
guy?
they compiled Vacuum Man.
Vacuum Man.
It was
Vac
Vacman. That's the one. Yeah, it was Vacman, and it. I think in the advert for Stretch Armstrong, it had like the little cartoon that went on. And I think that was the only place you ever saw Vacman.
Oh, I've
and
seen
it was
him.
this big red thing.
You put a
And
pump
you
on
pumped
his head.
his head. Yeah, he had a valve that you pumped on his head, and he went all lumpy. And when you stretched him, he stayed stretched, didn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas Stretch Armstrong went back. And I had like loads of little ones as well. There was like a collection of 4 other color ones that you could get. And did any of you guys ever rip a Stretch Armstrong?
No.
Yes,
The
I
weird-
did.
The weird sandy stuff
Oh.
inside.
No, Stretch Armstrong had like weird goo. He was made of goo, wasn't he, Lucy?
Mhm, yeah. That gave
a
me a
good
surprise.
boy.
I was so determined when I first got one. I was like, I need to break it. I don't know what that says about me as
I
a
need
kid.
to see what's within.
Yeah. I want to see inside.
Some kind of evil genius.
Yes.
Is
Should
that
be a good-
I will dissect this man and draw his power. I'm like, fuck, Luce.
It was like almost like super glue. Like it was like, or like more like PVA glue, you know, that kind of like opaque gooiness. It was weird.
Was it like
I just remember another. What
was
did you
it
say?
like that stuff like what are they called? They're like more solid when you hit them. Non-Newtonian?
Non-Newtonian fluids, yeah,
well,
cornstarch.
Yeah, was
yeah,
it
you
like
put
that?
water and cornstarch in. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It was. I guess it was, yeah, because when it was under pressure when you pulled it, yeah. There was another toy that I just remembered that I wanted to mention because it kind of ties into last week, because I had a toy of a Terminator factory, and I kind of wish I'd mentioned this to Gary because it was a really cool toy. And it was essentially a Skynet, what's it called?
Facility?
Not the facility, like a production line. It was a Skynet production line. And you had these Terminator skeletons, and I remember you had a black one, which was kind of like the Rev 9 from the new film, and a silver one, and you had this weird tank that had an Arnold-shaped like mold around it, and you put this weird pump in the top, and you pumped in like a silicon flesh, and it covered the skeleton in this skin, and then you could cut away parts so you could see the metal skeleton
cool as
underneath.
fuck. That's so
Yeah.
good.
It really
that's
was
so metal.
amazing.
That sounds pretty cool.
It was a weird kid's toy because obviously Terminator was an 18, like it wasn't a kid's film.
Yeah.
But they had this toy. I'll try and there is an advert that exists, Jordan. If you can put it on the episode for the video, maybe do that because it's a very cool little trailer.
Now,
Terminator is back with the Bioflesh Regenerator. In the ultimate confrontation with evil, Bioflesh suffers battle damage.
Endoskeleton in position to undergo bioflesh regeneration. Initiate regeneration program. Add flesh compound.
Terminator created. Terminator's Bioflesh Regenerator. I'm back.
Just whoa, look at all that mysticality. Oh, the sparkles, the
don't
flesh,
make me more
the
work.
robots.
Come on, man.
No, I was joking. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Don't put sparkles. Just put nopes across the screen. Just nope, 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 nope.
Fine, I can do that. That's more effort, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, okay.
I've inadvertently made myself more effort.
Yeah, man. I still have one of my Terminator figures. Maybe I'll get that cleaned up and get a picture because I found it in the garage. It's like a really rare, like 12-inch figure of Arnie that actually spoke, and I think his eyes lit up as well. It was a cool
I love
toy.
the garage treasure you find as you get older. You know what I mean? Or like loft treasure.
Yeah.
Where it's just you feel like
I
Indiana
found
Jones.
my granddad's camera the other day from like the 1950s.
Jesus.
It's so cool. Yeah, and I think it still works. I'm going to try and get some old film and see if I can get it going. It's a very, very cool thing. Is there anything else you wanted to say about Duke Nukem? Anything else you wanted to bring up there?
I'd kind of like someone to do like a web short of it. You know, like you get these channels like Corridor Digital who do like little things or they like make a web series. I'd really like something like that. But again, tongue in cheek. So it'd be offensive, but not because it's in the right context.
Yeah. Context offensive. It's very important, people. Remember this.
Confensive. That's what we need.
Confensive,
something that's confensive with Duke Nukem in it. That's what I want. Give it to me.
Okay, we can arrange that.
We can arrange
that. I feel like I've had my own rebirth, Jordan, this week. And it's because you dropped off for me a PlayStation 4.
Yes. How's the controller,
And
Harrison?
It's still shit. No, I don't mind it. I'm getting mixed up because whenever like it says press X, I'm pressing where X is on the
Square
Xbox control.
Yeah.
So I'm pressing what is square because it's on the left for me. So I keep pressing it like, why can't I do this thing? And it's just me getting mixed up. I still don't like the control stick placement. I'll still say. However, it's been my first real playtime to play any kind of PlayStation games outside of the time that I mentioned before the show when I said that my girlfriend got Bloodborne and I had a quick go for like 5 minutes. God of War is a brilliant game.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
The combat, the power that you feel when that axe hits your hand when you call it back to you, and the pure muscle of Kratos. I feel like a big veiny dick carrying an axe around. Like it's like the most going from Duke Nukem to this. It's like the most macho character there is. However, he's not offensive. He's like you can see he's trying to be a good dad. There's moments when he goes to put his hand on his son's back to be like reassuring, and he doesn't. And I literally said at the screen, I was like, just do it.
Yeah.
Comfort your son.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah,
good.
it's great. It is.
So
It
good.
is. I'm really grateful for you bringing that round. So that's been like one of my personal rebirths into a different style of gaming that I have definitely missed out on. And there's a lot of PlayStation games that I'm excited to play. Like The Last of Us 2 is on there obviously as well, which I'm hoping I'll be able to play through. I'm going to try and get through them as quick as I can so I can get it back to you.
That's all right, mate. Just hold
but
on
I
to
will
it for
say-
a while. I've got nothing to play at the minute.
Okay, well, thank you.
It's
I
okay.
appreciate that. Thank you. It's also doing a brilliant job at heating my room because that console, holy fuck, I had to take a whole layer off and open my bedroom door while I was recording.
It needs a clean.
It was so
it's
hot.
not been cleaned since I got it. Like, when did the PS4 release?
Oh god, that
I
was
don't
like,
even know.
was it maybe eight years ago? No. Was that that long
2014?
ago?
So that
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 hasn't been cleaned internally in 7 years. It might be worth doing it or
Oh my
taking
God.
out fire insurance.
Yeah, either or. Yeah, I'll probably take it apart and give it a clean. Then I didn't realize it had been that long.
That's the payment for borrowing it. You've got to clean it without breaking
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's fine. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it for you. There's been another moment that I want to bring up because this week, you guys know that I started Metroid Prime again,
Yeah.
which is obviously one of my favorite GameCube games. Nick, you mentioned about how good it looks, and it does look brilliant with this. It's a 6K AI enhanced texture pack, where someone's using AI to like upscale everything, and it's been amazing to play it from start to finish. And I think that game is an example of a rebirth going from 2D to 3D. So the 2D Metroid games, obviously side-scrollers back in the day, they started the Metroidvania along with Castlevania for that style of game. But to bring it to 3D, the trust that Nintendo put in Retro Studios, it's unbelievable the amount of trust that they let them have this franchise and say, a studio that had never really done anything before, to move a beloved franchise like that into 3D, and they fucking nailed it. And it still holds up, even using a single stick movement system, which is weird going back to. Like, without a doubt. Nick, if you get round to playing it, or if any of you get round to playing it, because like I said, you guys should definitely try it. It's weird at first, but then it just works. It just feels right for it.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Right, I'll
Like,
definitely
it's
try
like playing...
it eventually.
Yeah, it's on the... I mean, it's on the bleep, 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 if you want to bleep it, you know?
I will be bleeping it, yes.
The bleep.
Yes, thank you.
Bleep?
And, what you say, Lucy?
I was
adding
saying
fucking
I was just
bleeps.
joining in.
Oh, you're just bleeping as well.
Right, I'm just going to bleep this entire
yeah, and
section, all right?
Just
Have your way.
Bleep the section is fine. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm excited. You guys know I'm excited for Metroid Prime 4. I pretty much say it every fucking week, and I'm sure the listeners are getting sick of me saying it at this point. But that's why I'm playing God of War, because I wanted to see what this guy who did the level design and the world design is going to do for the next game. And the fact that Nintendo started making their next Metroid game and went, I don't think we're doing it justice, just give it back to Retro and start it again from scratch. That just says to me that Retro is going to do something great.
Awesome.
So that's one of my rebirths for the week. Nick, do you want to hit us with one of your rebirths?
Yeah, I've got kind of a two-part. Well, it's not a two-part. It's two rebirths, but I'll be short with both rebirths.
Okay.
My first one was Doom 2016. That brought back
Yeah.
pure nostalgia for me. It brought Doom back to what Doom was, where you felt like the biggest badass possible.
Yeah.
You walked into a room, you shot the room up, beat a demon to death, and then walked
Ripped his head in half.
Ripped his head in half, and walked away like, yeah, I just did that.
You're the boss
And
fight, is
Yeah.
what you're trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. The hardest guy in the room to beat is you. That's how
Yeah.
it felt. And then when Doom Eternal came along as well, it bumped that up to 11, which was even better. So that was, I love Doom as it is, especially with the sound that was brought by Mick Gordon as well, where it was just
God,
so
pure
good.
metal,
Yeah.
kind of infused craziness, and it just, I think it was it's the soundtrack on the OST is the BFG division.
BFG division,
Oh, so good. It just
it's so like
it just makes you feel like you are like George said, you're the boss. You as soon as that music starts and then all the enemies start spawning, there's not a care that you might die. It's like you're all gonna die. That's what's gonna that's what's
That
gonna
meme
happen.
of like, call an ambulance, but not for me. That old guy.
yeah, not for me. Yeah, it's funny. Like it's one of the only games that makes me hope that the enemies can hear your boss music arriving as you come into the room. They're all like, "Oh God, he's here!" And it's like it just for the second game for Doom Eternal, even the track names reflect that.
Yeah.
The fact that one of the tracks is called "The Only Thing They Fear Is You" is just like that is it just drives it home. And it's quite a difference, isn't it? Like, have any of you guys tried Doom 3 that's just been onto Game Pass? Because I've just started that.
No, that's the horror one though, isn't it?
It is, and it's fucking well
You
scary.
can play that in
it
VR.
Genuinely is like all tight. Fuck that right off. No,
Not for you.
I'm not playing that at all.
You can get fucked.
No.
Hazz just leaves.
I'm out of here, just like straight out. Lulu, have you played Doom 3? Have you tried that one?
I've not played Doom 3 yet. It's on my list though, because I bloody love Doom, and especially the 2016 one. So good. I've seen it's on Game Pass. I tell you what, Game Pass has been so good the past couple months. We've had some really good
They've just
games.
added loads more.
Well, they added Outriders as well. That's coming. That's going straight to Game Pass.
Yes. Now, me and Stu and Boof got game on Twitch if anyone wants to check him out. We checked that out all together on the multiplayer because I tried it on my own Outriders and it was disappointing. I'm very sad because when I saw the trailers and stuff, I was like, oh, this could be the game that holds my attention next. This could be the next Gears of War kind of, an interesting story. And the story it's good. Like the lore is interesting. Like the way that this whole nuclear reactor crashed down that was supposed to bring all the population and then just like decimated the new planet. And you wake up from a cryopod like, what the fuck is going on? But the gunplay, you feel like you're firing a pepper grinder. It's just like
It's very Destiny from what I hear, in that there's just bullet sponges and stuff like that. But it's a looter shooter,
yeah, but
isn't it?
Destiny feels satisfying. Destiny has like juice, and you don't get loads of glitches, and it just doesn't feel
Is
right.
it more
and
of an
there's so many
anthem,
cutscenes.
do you feel? Do you think it's going
I
to be an
think
anthem?
it could be more of a comparison to that. Yeah, and I think that's why they've added it to Game Pass, because it got such a bad review that they were like, I don't think people are going to buy this. So we need Xbox to take it over in order to make people play
Yeah,
it.
that's why there's so much skepticism now. Again, like we said to Gary last week. For anyone who's not listened, we interviewed one of the guys who's working on the TechCom 2029 game, which is a Terminator fan game.
Yep.
And
Amazing.
we said that no one's got any faith in these companies anymore, because it's just they'll just pump a game out and they don't even think about if it's fun anymore. So because they'll focus too much on how it looks or something like that, and a lot of them just focus on kind of the loop to keep your attention, opposed to if it's actually fun. And is Outriders just not that fun? There's just not enough juice there. It's just, why would I play this kind of thing?
It's annoying because it looks cool and the concept is there, but the feedback to the player, there was like moments where I was playing that the control didn't even vibrate when I was shooting, and I was like, we're in 2021. My control vibrated when I was playing Perfect Dark on the N64, guys. Like, come on. Yeah, I had to plug a fucking giant rumble pack in the back, but it still did it.
5 kilograms to the controller, but by God, it was worth it.
Literally 5 kilograms, yes. So yeah, I agree with Lucy that the Game Pass is, again, after the fact that Xbox made that hiccup a while back that me and Nick had the news episode about when they were trying to change the prices, and everyone was like, no, you ain't doing that, sons. We are enjoying what we're playing right now.
You can piss off is what you can do, Xbox.
Yeah, like I think everyone would have cancelled in protest, but they've just added loads more. They've added the EA Play and the entire back catalogue of that to the PC version of Game Pass Ultimate as well. So you now get all of the EA games as well. They're really outdoing themselves.
All
No,
those
they've done
EA games that people want to play.
There's a few. There's a few on there. The Titanfall 2's on there. That's worth your time.
Yeah.
That's
just
the
for
best
that.
first-person
Just for
shooter
that.
in the last 10 years, easily.
Easily. And so many people haven't played it. People keep saying, "Oh, I've just got Titanfall 2. I've never played it. The campaign's really good." It's like, we've been saying this for the past 4 years.
I can't help myself. Every time I hear EA, I just think of that ad. EA, it's in the game.
It's in the game. Yeah, I always think of
Sports.
EA Sports. And what was... See, when I hear the EA Sports one, I go back to FIFA 98 and it's Song 2 by Blur that comes on straight after.
Yes.
That was such a cool tie-in. I
Only
was like,
time
oh,
I
yeah,
enjoyed
it's great.
FIFA.
My
Exact same.
mine always goes to the thing of like, EA, it's in the motherfucking game, bitch! And that's the one that gets me. I saw that and that's
What was
replaced.
that on?
It's just replaced it. It's something I saw on YouTube like years and years ago. And it's just replaced the EA Sports thing in my brain. My brain's just gone, this one's superior. And then I've kept that one. The other one's fucked up.
This one's the
Yeah,
pinnacle.
that's it. There's no getting better than that. That was staying.
Nick, have you got anything else you want to say about your rebirth into Doom?
Yeah, other than that was a quick one on my other rebirth, which everyone knows from listening so far that I have a massive kind of video game boner for Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
It just everything about it just gave me the biggest virtual boner, and I love it. That's what I'm
Buster
gonna say, I
boner.
love it. It didn't like. I will admit, I'm a bit of a sucker. Kind of, I enjoyed the old style battle system, kind of where you attack,
Turn-based.
you turn base, yeah. And if they added that in, I know they've just announced the weird mobile game. For
They
Final
have.
Fantasy.
They've made a demake of the remake.
Yeah,
that is still better than the original.
Which I think I'd prefer to play the demake of the remake.
Yeah,
which is only
same.
for mobile, but I want to play it on the PC. I want to be able to play it because it looks how I would have done the remake. Even though the remake was amazing, don't get me wrong.
Wait, so you could emulate the remake of the demake. So you're remaking the demake of the remake,
And then
if you emulate it.
it's demake remake inception. So if you go inside the demake and then play the remake, but also whilst emulating the demake, you will eventually hit the remake, and then I think you may see God.
My head hurts.
When you guys stop talking about this, I'll be back.
I
because
feel like
my brain can't
we
fathom
need
this
that
right
meme
now.
on the screen right now of the math
this is
problem.
hard.
I'm currently I'm playing the original Final Fantasy VII, but adding the mods that upscale the AI upscales on it, which makes it look great anyway. It's still very dated to an extent, but it turns the old game into what you kind of would enjoy to play nowadays, and I think that's what the demake of the remake is. Which I can't wait to give a go. I'm not too keen on the mobile aspect of it, because if I'm honest, if it was on maybe the Switch, that mobile aspect that'd be better.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done
I
that.
prefer that.
Yeah, because like they're doing a lot with it, and I think the let's just call it the demake, just to shorten it down. The demake, I think, is aimed at the players who want, who played the original and want to play it in its original state, but looking a little bit nicer. Whereas the remake is an entirely different game, really, isn't it? Haven't they opened it up a lot without giving spoilers to anyone who hasn't played it yet?
Yeah,
they've changed bits towards the end, haven't they?
Yeah, it takes liberties. It's very similar to the original, but in some aspects it's taken liberties, and it is a different game. It's Final
in
Fantasy
parts,
VII,
though, isn't it?
Yes. So as it stands right now, the first part is out, and it goes to. I won't say because it's not really spoiler, but if you've played the original, you know where you get to, and there's quite a lot still after that point once you get to, but that is fleshed out massively as it in itself right now.
Right.
So if I don't know how many parts they intend to make, because they've fleshed out which is only a tiny part of the original into what is, I think, a 30 maybe plus hour game. So it'll be interesting to see how many parts come out. I think they're currently in development of the second part, but as it stands, it's not the same game. It's running along different, so it could be shorter for that reason. Wow.
They have the way game studios are doing stuff at the moment. Like, if you can look at some of the other big name like franchises, like for Halo Infinite, they said Halo Infinite is going to span 10 years. So you could think that maybe they're going to do that. They might span it like every 2 years. You're going to get an episode, and if there's 5 episodes, you know, it's going to be 10 years.
The only thing that's a bit of a downer is I can't kick enemies off the Halo ring in Final Fantasy, but I can in Halo Infinite. That was the biggest excitement.
Yes.
I can kick people off the Halo ring.
I want to Sparta kick people off the Halo ring.
Is it an actual like Spartan kick? Because if it is, I'm so down.
Yeet them off.
Oh shit! Literally Spartans as well. I didn't even make that connection in my head.
Is it actually a Spartan kick? Because if it's not, I'm not interested.
I don't know. Is it, Nick? I haven't actually seen. I didn't know you could do that till Nick just said it.
My bad for not thinking that anyone else. Basically, they announced the other day that a feature of the Halo Infinite will be that you can now kick enemies or launch them, whatever it may be, off the Halo ring. So there will be an edge to the ring, and you will be able to send people.
Flat Earthers are going to love
If
that.
there is not if there's a kick that's not a Spartan kick, I'm going to kick off. Is what I'm going to do. I'm not.
Someone needs to mod the Spartan laser so it just shoots a leg out and just kicks someone off.
It shoots Leonidas out from 300 in like a kicking pose.
And then he kicks.
This is Sparta.
Someone please mod this up
But
for us. Ross, draw that if you're listening.
It goes quiet as, "This is Sparta!" And then it's like, as they fly away.
Amazing. Fucking hell. So, Lulu, I believe you might want to tell us about some of your gaming rebirths. Am I correct?
Yes, so I have 2 as well.
Yes.
But I'll keep them short and sweet. First one is Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
The reason for Resident Evil 7 is because I think since Resident Evil 7's come out, the whole franchise has just been given a lot more love. You know,
It has a new lease of life.
I feel like in the Twitch community especially, and a lot of horror streamers, it's kind of becoming a bit of like a cult favourite. I'm seeing so many people playing it for the first time, and it's been out for maybe 4 years, something like that.
It has. You could say it's been reanimated from the dead.
Yes, I like that. And we've obviously got Village coming out, which has gone viral because of Tall Vampire Lady.
Obviously.
But yeah, I just feel like the whole franchise has been given so much love with the remasters as well of the first 3. Resident Evil's getting a lot of love now, so I'm glad to see it because I'm a big fan. I remember playing Resident Evil on PlayStation 2, being a terrified young child, falling in love with it, you know?
It's good series.
Yeah. I mean, it's even Netflix is going really big on it, aren't they? So they've got the new series coming out. Well, 2 new series? They've got the live action one, and they've also got the CGI one.
Yeah.
And they've got the voice actors of Claire and Leon from the remake games to do the voices of the characters in the film.
That's sick.
Which is
What
amazing.
Sorry, I had to cough. But yeah, I think that's real good. Is it like, where did you, so are you playing 7 at the moment, Lucy?
I've been replaying 7 kind of on and off stream, but I've been playing the remaster as well of 2, which is so good.
Oh, it's amazing.
By the way, the remaster they've done of that is brilliant. But yeah, I've already put my annual leave in for Village. I am ready. My mind and my body is ready. But yeah, because like the 4 to like 6 people kind of hated on, and to be honest, I didn't even bother playing 5 and 6 because like I heard so much like. I should probably give it a chance, to be honest. Oh, okay. I was going to say, maybe I should give it a chance.
5 wasn't the worst, but 6 just went,
The only redeeming quality of 6 is the Mercenaries mode. If you've got someone on couch co-op.
Yeah, you said that before, didn't you?
The couch co-op for Mercenaries is great if you can get like a decent combo going. Like me and my brother would like play it loads. and we'd always try and like beat our high scores. That was really good. But other than that, it's kind of garbage. Yeah.
See, that game's way more of an action horror shooter, isn't it, as opposed to like the whole survival genre.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, like Resident Evil 3 is not really survival horror like the original, whereas the remake is.
No.
Resident Evil 3 was where it stopped
Oh,
being
really?
survival
Did they sway
horror.
it more to be? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't know
so
that at all.
the remake of 3, have you played the remake of 3, Lucy?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's only like 4 hours long though, like 5 hours long, which is really annoying.
It's short.
Yeah, I
Need to be DLC, really.
yeah, it's there's not a lot of replayability in it either, whereas there is a bit in 2, which was weird. But Resident Evil 3, the original, was where it stopped kind of being survival horror because you were given many more tools to deal with situations. Like the weapons were just more powerful, and you know, Nemesis was still kind of scary, but you could fight him if you wanted to. Whereas in 2, you really wouldn't want to try and do that. So the remake was more survival horror because even though you had better weapons, the zombies are scarier to deal with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
in
Yeah.
the original as well, like there was a dodge mechanic added, which doesn't seem like it belongs in a horror game like that's so clunky. You know what I mean? So that dodge gives you a bit more freedom to
Yeah.
not be as scared. Whereas if you get backed into a corner in a
Okay.
horror game, you
Yeah.
should be worried. Whereas then
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
yeah,
You should
'cause you
be
want to
getting
get the panic into
spooked.
play, don't
exactly.
you?
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Resident Evil 7 adds block, but because the block still makes you take damage, just less of it, that's scary because a zombie can back you into a corner. You can block the attack, but you're still going to get hurt and be cornered, kind of thing. It's weird how it's changed. Weird how.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how they do the boss fights in Village.
Yes.
If they're going to
Yeah.
take the same approach as 7, so I don't know. Like that's not been given away at all, but yeah, I feel like people are just having a lot more love for the series now.
Yeah, they
So
are.
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. I like it.
I mean, with Village, it looks like it's straddling the line between 7 and Resident Evil 4 in at least the setting anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether
Yeah.
it's going to be, because 4 is like heralded as one of the best action horror shooters, you know, in that sort of blended genre. And then 7 was obviously heralded as being this huge change or rebirth back to form for Resident Evil. It kind of stands to reason that you'd think the studio would try to blend those two together somewhat.
Yeah.
At least to me, anyway. You know, that's what. Hopefully, they execute it well, because I mean, the action sections in 4 are pretty good, and they are still scary because you've got the limited movement as it was. But they're remaking 4 as well, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that.
Again, because it's been on every console pretty much.
Yeah, Well,
Yeah, it has.
the HD remakes, which is just texture packs, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the 4 remake. Are you excited for the 4 remake, Lucy? Are you like ready
Yeah.
for it? Like ready?
Feeling high.
I'm excited to stream it because I don't really stream that many horror games. So yeah, be good fun.
Get ready to get all that spook on.
What are
Yeah.
you buying,
It is
stranger?
fun. You should you should stream Doom 3 as well. Like, I would like to see you play that. There are the difference between, like what Nick was saying before about Doom 2016, the difference between Doom 3 and Doom 2016 is like it's a canyon apart. Like, it's all tight corridors and almost
Ooh.
complete darkness and a shotgun that doesn't really do that much damage. It's really scary. Like, I actually jumped the other day on my first playthrough, and I stopped playing after about 10 minutes. I was like, I'm quite scared.
How's the music on that one? Because obviously, music is such a big part of the Doom franchise. And I know you were saying earlier, Mick Gordon, he just does it fantastic. Is it really good in this one as well?
It's atmosphere music, isn't it? More. It's,
It relies on that
spookiness.
atmospheric kind of thing, and I think it's also like the noise in game. I think, like you said before, has about like makes you jump. I think it still makes me jump to this day. I think it's like chainsaw zombie guy in it that pops out, and I even know when it is, but the atmospheric music and build up to it and the noises, it relies heavily on that more so than kind of a soundtrack to the game. But yeah, it definitely relies on the atmospheric music more than anything else. But but even so, it's still really good in itself for that. It is took a different turn.
It reminds me a little bit more of, say, like Dead Space, if I'm honest, than previous Doom games. But it's like a first-person Dead Space, and the sound design's impressive. I mean, I've taken a lot more since I've been playing. Well, obviously, I'm using these in-ear headphones at the moment. Like I always use in-ear ones because of these, the one more, the 3D ones. I've been gaming a lot with these, and it's really nice to be able to play all of these games that we've mentioned. Really, like I played Doom 3 with it, which is obviously makes it very atmospheric. You can hear the ship creaking around you. You can hear all the whirring of metal and things going wrong. And then when an imp jumps out the darkness at you around a corridor, you genuinely fucking jump because it's scary. And same with Metroid. Like, to be able to play these games now with decent sound quality in your ears makes a huge difference. If you're going to be playing if you're going to go back and play any of these Rebirth things for older games that a lot of people are doing at the moment, and I think that's what lockdown has done to a lot of us. It's making us go back through our favorite things because we're wanting more comfort. We're watching our favorite films and series, and we're playing our previous favorite games. I think doing it that way with decent sound is hugely important.
Definitely.
Because it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, sound back then wasn't as good as it was now. But it makes a difference if it's in your ear, like right in your ears, I've found anyway. That sounds kind of stupid, I know.
Yeah, I think we were limited by our audio output then, whereas now...
Yeah, because you couldn't have in-ear headphones back then. So, not plugged into your controller like now. Like, I couldn't play Metroid on the GameCube with headphones unless I had like a really long cable and plugged it into my TV, but I don't think the output from the TV would have given me the sound quality that my computer gives out,
Maybe.
Or like my audio interface.
Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit about where the next level of gaming is going to go in terms of Rebirths, and like I started thinking about AI because obviously with our interview with Gary Dinsdale, ruler of the Dinsdale Dimmadome last week, I was thinking about the advancements in AI that we're going to see on the next consoles and the next sort of games. So like when AI advances in games, so would you feel bad about killing the enemies? I was thinking of it almost like Westworld.
Fuck
like imagine they're constantly... What'd you say then?
Fuck them.
Now fuck it. It's like if you imagine the AI are constantly inhabiting the world that they're in. And when you log in, they're all like, oh shit, the players are here. And they all start running and hiding or, whatever the function is in the game. Like, do you think we'll ever get to somewhere like that? Like, I'm going to aim that at you, Nick. What do you think?
Jesus.
Think we'll ever get there?
You just made me have like an existential crisis about playing video games. I feel bad for shooting someone.
There's imps you've been killing.
If it makes you feel any better, that's what we've been doing all this time, but just more basic.
Well, to be fair, we are in this simulation anyway, so eventually we'll wake up and it will. No, it is strange to think about it because the more games progress and then like AI in games and stuff like that, and you think about it, we're getting ever so closer to. In my head, we're getting ever so close to Star Trek. Holodeck. VR, we have VR centers as it is where you can play with multiple people in a big large room, and there's got to be a point whereby it's not a game is not completely filled with just actual players and the AI is there and they like you said, they react to what's going on, and the more we play in VR, what stops us becoming desensitized from what we do as we play a video game with a controller in a hand? If I was to shoot a random person or blow them up, that's that. But in my head, in VR, you're that much closer to actually experiencing that. So if I was to hold a knife in VR and stab a character in VR, that's that step closer to me not doing it in real life. I'm not out there guys listening. I'm not going to stab you or anybody. It depends if you get in the way of the next cream egg that's in front of me. But, what is there a point when, like we always talk about, like I'm probably going to a big tangent, but video games and violence. When does it become too real? When you play...
I know what you mean. I saw it was someone playing what was the medieval VR game where you can like grab hold of people. That's the one. Yes, Blade and Sorcery. I was watching someone play that, and they had held someone, and they were like holding them down and punching them in the face. And I realized that I was looking at the screen like, oh my god, this is like. I worried about the player. I was like, seems a bit dark. Like, I'm worried about the psyche of this person playing. Like, are you this violent in real life?
I've done that exact same thing in the game, to be fair. Because I've played that. I
don't doubt it, Jordan. I don't doubt it.
I feel like I don't connect the two as being a thing. Like,
I just don't connect my actions with how they hurt other people, and I don't think that should be a problem.
Exactly. You get me, Harrison. You get me. No,
we've been doing this 2 years. I understand you now, man.
I don't feel like there's any form of like connection to it. Like, as soon as I come out of VR, I'm out of a video game. That's it. But I've done that exact same thing where I'm like, I wonder how many times I can, in quick succession, stab this thing before it doesn't register anymore, and things like that. And I'm just like, wow, I look like a psychopath if anyone walks into my house. But it's just a game at the end of the day. As soon as, like, when you finish playing Grand Theft Auto, if you're just doing like, how many people can I run down in 5 minutes or something? As soon as you're finished, you're like, right, that's it. I'm just gonna do the dishes, kind of thing.
The only thing that kind of not worries me, but plays on me, is competitive play. If I play something like Warzone, the rage stays with me for a good 5 minutes after. And let's get to the point where we get like VR competitive play becomes like VR esports and stuff like that. And I think for me, it's the acting out the physicality of what you're doing. So you're in game, and say if you've just, as you might do, teabag someone after you've done it, but it's maybe not teabag, but you've beat someone down, or someone's done that to you. At least when holding control, you're like, okay, but you may have physically done that in a VR situation where you've beat someone. It's like you said, Hazz, when you've watched them repeatedly punch someone in the face. Would it not get to the point where it's also kind of like surreal if you're watching an esports, and this is all hypothetical, and someone is basically just beat someone down, and they're, after that character's died, is repeatedly still punching the VR world, and you're like, is this guy okay? Is it like you've just beat him, it's over, just stop, and it gets to the point where like, maybe we shouldn't allow this guy outside of his room for too long.
Yeah.
But that's just it. It's like, I know that competitive play can be quite intense and the adrenaline rushes through. And it was just that. My brain was just going towards that. What point does the in-game not delve into the kind of the IRL sort of thing? Because
I think the point it changes is when you start getting haptic feedback.
Yes.
When you can feel that you're hitting someone, I think that's the point when
like
it'll
they're being
change.
Hit.
Yeah.
There's a game that deals with this a little bit. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Dreamfall Chapters. It's an indie game.
No, I don't know.
But it's a sequel to another game called The Longest Journey. It's like episodic. It's a really good game. I'd recommend anyone to play it. It was crowdsourced on like Indiegogo a few years ago. But one of the premises of the game, you're in two separate worlds, but one of them is like in the future. It's kind of cyberpunk style, and people can use VR to like dream and stuff like that. And basically the whole world is addicted to VR now. And there's like people on headsets like on the streets, like homeless and stuff like that, and they're just living their lives through the VR headset and stuff, and it's quite like, it's quite spooky. You think, oh, you never know, that could happen in like 20 years time. So and that game's quite old now. That was like least over 5 years ago, and since then we've come in so many strides in VR technology. So yeah.
Very cool. They might be good future guests. Maybe we should reach out to them and have a chat. That could be an interesting episode to talk about the future of VR and how they see it. You know,
that would be cool.
I had a realization the other day about again linked to AI really, because it was, you know, when you're doing captchas on websites, you know, when you're logging in and it says, you know, look up all the traffic lights, look up all the bicycles, bridges, that kind of thing. I was thinking about why it's always those items. And at first I was like, what happens when a robot recognizes those items? Like, Skynet's going to, you know, change all the traffic lights to green and red whenever it wants. But then once I started thinking about the driving aspect, it dawned on me why it's asking us to recognize those items. And it's Tesla. The thing that Tesla is testing is making the self-driving cars recognize bicycles on the road and recognize traffic lights when to stop and stop signs and bridges.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me that everyone is being used to train the AI to recognize autonomous driving.
There's a threshold on it though, because I don't know if there's... Is it 100% accuracy is required to get through the captcha?
Not 100%, but that's not what the AI needs to recognize
That's what
it.
I'd love. If everyone did it slightly wrong and it suddenly thinks that a tree's a bicycle. So it's like, just follow that
all it's
bicycle,
doing is just recognizing. It's just recognizing when to move. Because all it's doing is I know that one of the things it was struggling with, particularly with Tesla's AI for recognizing bicycles, it was when a bike was on a bike rack on a car. And it was like, it didn't know if it was someone riding the bike or if the bike was stationary, or, you know, because it was moving in relation to the camera, it was staying at a similar distance. And it was sideways, and it was like, I don't know what's going on here.
70 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's like, I don't understand this, so I'm just going to hit it. Like, it doesn't know what it's going to do.
That sounds like a caveman brain kind of thing. Make no sense.
It does,
Bonk.
yeah. Well, early AI, you know, it's got to start as a caveman. So it made me realize that it doesn't need the 100% accuracy, because when you look at stuff like, you know how people do deep fakes, it like scans 10,000 pictures of this person's face and it builds an approximation of almost like the way quantum data works with where molecules are, where atoms are. It's like, it's a percentage chance of it being somewhere in this clouded area, you know? So almost like a Venn diagram. You can think of it like a Venn diagram. So it's building a shape out of a cloud of information that will sum up to be, oh, this is a bicycle because it's got the curves here, or this is a stoplight because, a stop sign because it's this hexagonal shape and it's more red here, so it knows to stop. But they're literally using people to train the AI for them, and don't you think that's really odd? It feels really strange.
That is bizarre.
It's efficient.
Yeah, it's very efficient.
Smart. I like it.
I feel like the Captcha company, once it goes, okay, the AI is sufficiently trained, it then just sells that information to Tesla or whoever else is having autonomous cars. And they've literally just used everyone on the planet to be like recognizing it. But the funny thing is, people intentionally do it wrong, and I know that for a fact.
Just to fuck with them.
Because I've seen people doing it.
Hazz, are you telling me that as soon as we stop seeing captchas, that's when the machines take over?
Yes. So prepare for Skynet to arrive.
I'm ready now. As soon as I stop seeing bicycle captchas and it never asks me for authentication, that's it. I'm going full Mad Max, like
just keep putting in
John
the wrong
Connor
details.
on every computer I see.
Just keep
That's
putting
it.
in the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
do it.
This is definitely
do you think
a shed, and you're putting in like a crocodile or some shit. Just keep doing that. It's fine.
No, all you've got to worry about is when it starts asking you to recognize people on the sidewalks, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's targeting system." That's
that's
when
some
you've got to be
Black
careful.
Mirror level
I love
It
the
is,
idea
yeah.
of this computer with like a laser beam ready to kill someone. And it's like, hello, human. Please, can you tell me if this is a human? Because I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to hit a letterbox again. Someone's going to be really angry.
Yeah.
All I can picture is
Everyone's dressing as stop signs and traffic lights, like walking around the street.
Yeah.
Like,
You're free to go,
It's that
moving stop
interview.
sign. Watch out for
It's
them
that interview
humans.
yeah.
that robot did on TV, the AI, and when she asked something like, "Do you want?" They asked that like the AI robot, "Do you want to hurt
Oh,
us?"
was it Sophie or whatever?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
called?
Oh, yeah, that
And
was on
didn't
this
she say
morning,
something
wasn't it?
like, "We will dominate the world" or something like that? And they were like,
Destroy all.
"Yeah," and they were like, "That we didn't."
No, it said, do you want to destroy all humans? And then Sophie went, okay, I'll destroy all humans. It was like so flippant as like an off comment.
Okay, it was like
Bye-bye,
Alexa.
humans.
Do you want to kill all the humans? If you want me to. It's just like, I'll put the command through now. No.
Have you guys played Detroit Become Human? Because that's kind of
No.
on this topic. Oh, that's a really good game. Kind of,
That's on Jordan's thingy. That's on Jordan's PlayStation, I
It
believe.
is?
I would
There you go, I'll
recommend
play
it. It's a real.
Check it out.
It's probably like my favorite David Cage game out of all the ones he's done. But it's very reminiscent
Wow, okay.
of AI and robots, and I won't spoil it, but it's good.
I've seen bits because I know the Game Grumps played it, so I watched a little bit of it. But it seems great. It's got what's his name from Aliens who plays Bishop in, hasn't it? What's his name? I can't remember the actor's name. All I can think is Warwick Davis, and it's definitely not him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah.
Well,
I know who you're on about.
Willow.
Yeah, it's not Willow. It's because I'm just thinking of the Wayland Yutani
while you're
Corporation. I'm just thinking
Thinking
W.
of that, I think there's a really good book by, if anyone's heard of Zero Punctuation, or Yahtzee Croshaw.
Yeah.
There's a book he made called Mogworld, which is he based it on World of Warcraft because he spent so much time on it when he was younger, and it's about the AI within an MMO becoming sentient, and that
Oh
like,
wow, okay,
it
that's a cool
follows a
concept.
character called Jim, who the start of it is that he's like a trainee mage at a wizard school or mage school, and then he dies,
Yeah.
and then he gets resurrected by a necromancer, and the first couple of chapters are just him throwing himself off of the evil spire trying to die because he's like, I want to go back to heaven.
Fucking hell.
What the actual fuck?
Oh right.
But he just can't die, and it won't happen. It's really interesting because it does at the end very shortly say like, yeah, the game's a bit weird because a lot of the AI just runs away from you immediately. It's a really good book.
Maybe it'll get to that point. But what if like AI becomes sentient in a way that it just learns to avoid players in all the games that we
Well,
play?
that's it. There's a point where he's like trying to type on a keyboard because he's never seen a keyboard before because he's just some random mage. And he was like, I was trying to type
Yeah.
a message to the person on the other end of the like screen, but some absolute moron had laid it out in the wrong order. I was like, that's pretty funny. I like that. It's like, yeah, QWERTY keyboards.
I think that probably rounds out this episode. I think that has been a wonderful hour we've just talked.
Hot damn.
I really enjoyed this 2-year episode. It's I wanted it to be more relaxed and a bit more conversational, like I said, and it's been absolutely lovely. And I wanted to just start our 3rd year of the podcast by thanking everyone in the Discord because you're a lovely, lovely community. I love you all. Obviously, Lucy, that's where you joined, and then you ended up joining the show, which is great.
Yes.
And then Nick, you joined as well.
Whoop,
So it's whoop, whoop. It goes to show like how you can meet people through gaming, and it really does pull communities together who wouldn't usually meet, and I love it for that. I really do. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to all the producer Patreon supporters that we have. So I'm just going to go through them real quick. Here's a quick list for you. Leanna Gaffney, Justin Wilbraham, Helen Davison, Darren Miller, Mark Goodman, Adam Gosling, Chunko the Wonky Donkey, Ross Cook, Troy Osborne, and our newest Elsa Lillywhite. Without you guys, we couldn't do
Thank
what
you
we
so
do.
much,
And
guys.
thank you for supporting us. Yes, and if you want to join and you're listening right now, you can find us at patreon.com/griefburrito. We do bonus stuff, we do giveaways, stickers, all that bullshares, and I've got hopefully some more game codes soon coming. So yes, let's end it there. Jordan, where can they find you?
They can find us everywhere at Grief Burrito and me at the Mr. John Core.
That is right. Lulu, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at Lulu_Pew, Twitch Lulu_Pew. I'm currently playing through Dragon Age Origins at the moment, OG RPG, but maybe play some Doom now. That can be on the list.
Yeah, get on that biz. And Nick, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter as Ruthlessly Nick, and you can find me on Twitch as Ruthlessly Ruffles, and I will be doing my first affiliated stream on Friday.
Congrats.
Damn, congratulations, Nick. Get over there, guys. Go and support Nick. Follow him. Subscribe if you can. Give him that Amazon Prime subscription if you've got that for free. You may as well use it. A lot of people don't know that you have that. Go and use it. Give it to fucking Twitch streamers because they need it. They need the support.
Yeah.
And you can find me everywhere at HazWild. And you can find me on literally everywhere at HazWild. And if you want to message us, you can message us at griefburrito@gmail.com. Subscribe. Leave a little like. I don't know. Leave us a review if you're listening to the audio-only podcast. And it better be on Cephalopod or we're going to be mad. Let's go, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.